Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Partners One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Partners One can work for your business.
Welcome to the Rocket Right Show, starring Hurricane Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar. Two busy blondes with their fingers on the pulse of all things Louisiana. Events, health, leisure, entertainment, and more. It's the Rocket Right Show. And now, here's Betsy and Kay.
And we're so glad that you could be with us for another edition of Rock It Right all over Louisiana. So we're really excited to bring to you some of our favorite people doing some amazing things. And in our Partners One studio, today we have Danny Bonfiglio, the owner of Janacare, who's going to talk about how his business and many others have changed since COVID-19. And then I'm going to introduce you to a realty company. That's kind of unusual usually, except this is something totally different. We're not talking about houses, we're talking about investment property, timber investment, recreational property. We're talking about a way that you can secure your money in a different thing than the stock market. You might have a little bit more control over it that way, and we like to have control of our money, right?
We like control over everything. What you talking about, Betsy?
Absolutely do.
Yes, and in our medical segment, March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month, and so Dr. Height with Mary Bird Perkins Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center is going to join us. And then one of our favorite peeps, Allison Franklin, who is the GM at City Slice. They have got so many events going on over there, and they've got a crazy brunch called Kegs and Eggs, and she's going to tell us all about that as well.
It's Louisiana style.
Lots of fun, Louisiana style.
Louisiana style. So Danny Bonfiglio.
Yes.
I am so glad that you could come.
Thanks for
We
having
have a mutual friend, Amy Supp.
Yep.
We are very proud Partners One members.
I love Partners One.
Yes, I know you do, and you're actually a former board member, so you helped with the formation of that, and now y'all are 700 businesses strong in just the greater Baton Rouge area.
Partners One has made a major impact in my company and in my life.
Mm-hmm.
So I highly recommend Partners One. If you own a small business, you definitely need to check out and see what it's all about, because it will bring you customers that you normally wouldn't get, and it will expand your horizon and reach people that you normally wouldn't reach, because you will take the Partners $1.
And better barter for Baton Rouge.
Better barter for Baton Rouge.
Moxie.
With Moxie.
And
Absolutely.
there is some announcements that are going to be coming out publicly soon about Moxie. But your business, Janacare, has been in business for quite a while. So you've been through some ups and downs, some ebbs and flows with the economy. But this COVID-19 thing really...
It's totally different. I started Janacare April Fool's 1988, so that's been a long time.
April Fools,
April 1st, 1988. I was 4. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but so we've seen ups and downs in the economy, but when this COVID hit in 2020, we literally had 45 to 50% of our business shut down because people wasn't going into work.
Sure.
So they didn't need the offices clean. So you don't need it clean, they suspend the service. So that really initially kind of went, wow, this is a major impact.
Yeah.
But I was able to get supplies in before a lot of these big box stores. So we got in the hand sanitizers, the disinfects, the Lysol wipes, the masks, the gloves, anything related to beating the COVID-19 scare. So that actually helped out a little bit, but about 4 to 5 months after, we started seeing some of the businesses come back.
Well, and everybody had to step up their sanitizing.
Everybody, and it changed the way we clean our facilities today. We do a lot of the COVID-19 fogging. Fogging is real big now because, if you have an outbreak in your office, you definitely want everything disinfected and fogged, and these fogging systems will cover every square inch of the facility. and make it safe for the other employees and customers to come in to
Well,
their
even if there's
place.
not an outbreak, I mean, some people were symptomatic, some were asymptomatic, so everything needed to be clean. We've joked in more than one show that Baton Rouge and Louisiana has never been cleaner. We've never had cleaner bathrooms in New Orleans,
Well,
ever.
You're
At
right.
least inside our buildings.
That's right.
It's
Well,
cleaner.
you know, typical example, we clean a lot of the East Baton Rouge Parish schools, and every day we're fogging the classrooms for these kids because we want a safer environment for the kids and the teachers and all the whole staff. So that's a different way of cleaning. It takes us a little bit longer to do it.
Sure.
But in this day and time, you have to really do that, and it's changed the way we clean altogether because we don't just do the basic cleaning now. We now have to sanitize and disinfect daily. So,
And that's probably changed the way you train.
absolutely.
And train the type of employee that you would recruit.
Right.
And they have to be coachable and trainable to make sure that they're following your protocol because people's lives are at stake.
Yes, definitely. It's just definitely an impact from my little business, and you know, we've got about 250 employees. So.
That's a big business.
And we were able to keep a lot of these people because of the. I'm gonna be honest with you, the PPP helped out and keep my people employed and the check coming in. So it helped out a lot.
So for people that, you know, they're a small business or their business has been severely hurt, what are a couple of tips that you could give them? Just a couple of quick tips on what they need to do to keep themselves, their family, and their employees safe, if they still have employees.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of
Yeah.
things you can do that's real easy. You know, we have the disinfect sprays like the Lysols. You definitely want to do that on all your horizontal surfaces, your touch surfaces, your phones, your computers, your keyboard. You know, just that alone will help. Washing your hands a lot, keeping sanitizer at the front door as people come in. Maybe have a little mask station to where people can wear a mask if they come and are going, and just social distancing. That's a big plus because it does work. It does work.
So what encouragement would you give to other businesses that have either really suffered a difficult time through this or have kind of grown so quickly they couldn't really grasp a hold, because it has changed the way people do business in every facet?
Every facet it's changed. You know, we basically have changed the way we clean and the way we do business. We do a lot of stuff over the phone now. We do a lot of stuff like my salespeople do a lot of sales calls, you know, by over the phone or internet. It's just changed everything. The personal contact is not there like it used to be.
What sets Janacare apart from other cleaning companies, you know, large and small? Like your signature, what's your specialty that sets you apart?
Number one, we're homegrown. We're from Baton Rouge. I'm born and raised here. Went to Lehigh, went to Southeastern, born and raised here. We're not a franchise. A lot of these big companies are franchises. They're from like out of state. So you're dealing with local people and that know Baton Rouge and are from Baton Rouge.
And what area do you service? The greater Baton Rouge area, or how far do you branch out?
We do around a 45-mile radius. You know, we'll do like Baton Rouge, West Baton Rouge, Gonzales, Zachary. We'll go to Prairieville. So just that area. It keeps us enough. We do.
There's enough in those areas.
Oh, there's enough. I mean, we do offices, medical facilities, schools, banks, car dealerships. We clean from one-man office to a 100,000 square foot building. So
Top to bottom.
top to bottom.
Everything that you need. Well, it's really wonderful to have you here, and I
Thanks
just
for having me.
appreciate so much what you're doing to keep everyone safe and to keep everyone working. And I'm really glad that you were able to keep your staff on. That is huge.
That was a big deal for us and for them.
So if somebody wants to reach you, what would be the best way for them to reach you or your team or your staff about either a one-time empty building or, you know?
We do it all. So you can call us at 225-751-CARE, 225-751-2273, or reach us at www.janacarebr.com.
Okay, no hyphen in the .com.
No, just JanacareBR.com. No hyphen. Just
Janacare BR.
BR for Baton Rouge.
BR.com.
Well, we're so glad that you could come. We
Thank
really
y'all for
appreciate
having me.
everything that you're doing. And, you know, if you need to know anything about Partners One or Danny Bonfiglio and Janacare, please do reach out. You can reach out to him directly. You can reach out to us, and we'll connect you. And we're just really excited about the things that are happening in Baton Rouge as we open up into
Absolutely.
phase 3.
Yeah.
Hello.
Thank
We're so
goodness.
glad.
And
Thank
you know,
goodness.
I just wish I'd brought wine for this segment so I could see Betsy say Bonfiglio like 15 times and see, you know, when
That
she
could be
messed
that
up.
could be a drinking game.
That could be a drinking game. We'll have to have you back and do that. And we're going to be right back introducing you to Jeff Taylor with Whitetail Properties. They cover Louisiana, Mississippi, and a large portion of the United States. So stay tuned. We're going to talk to you about how to keep your money safely invested in land and have a good time doing it. And we'll be right back on Rocket Right with Hurricane Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar.
Hey y'all, I'm Amanda Shaw. We all know Louisiana is as fun as all get out. So get out, take a road trip, and explore everything Louisiana has to offer. Fill her up and try a new restaurant that's as fun-loving as it is food-loving. Grab family and take off for monumental adventures at our 21 state parks. Or take a magical minivan tour along our 19 scenic trails and byways and rediscover the character and characters that make our state a lot like nowhere else. Louisiana is a trip. Take one today and enjoy a close by, far from ordinary adventure that's sure to feed your soul.
This is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Plan your road trip at LouisianaIsATrip.com.
You're invited to the first annual Flower Fest benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Immerse yourself into this year's Louisiana Promenade theme as Point Marie Square is transformed into a floral haven, followed by a floral-inspired Louisiana Promenade Gala. Festival and gala tickets are on sale now at theflowerfest.com. Follow us on social media at theflowerfestLA.
Since the early 1800s, the Selassie family has played a significant role in the retail industry in Louisiana. Stuart Selassie has achieved the Certified Diamond Graduate designation from the prestigious Gemological Institute of America. What that means to you, whether it's appraisals, design, build, repair, or diamond sales, you have an expert you can count on. At Selassie's, you make all the right choices. Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts in the heart of the Denham Springs Antique District. Find them on Facebook.
Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Partners One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Partners One can work for your business.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris of Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, conveniently located off the I-12 corridor in Walker and Albany. If you suffer from sciatica, migraines, or other pain conditions, give us a call to see if we have a technique that best fits you. We have multiple techniques including chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy, dry needling, rehab, and much more. Again, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris with Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, Walker, and Albany.
Where else can you take the trail less traveled at a pace all your own? Where else? Escape to one of Louisiana's 21 state parks for a picture-perfect getaway.
Where else can you be a world away and this close to home?
welcome back to Rock It Right. I am Hurricane Betsy Barnes here with Dr. Kay Solar, and we are very excited to have as our guest Jeff Taylor with Whitetail Properties. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So he is representing the company at large, but he actually covers property in Mississippi.
Yes.
He has another, I would say, colleague here in Louisiana by the name of Cade Taylor.
Yeah, we're actually in Cade's territory here, so we're representing the company as a whole, Whitetail Properties, and Cade should join us later, I hope. And,
Which is great, and he did sell some property for us in Kentwood, Louisiana.
He's a great guy.
Last summer, so it was great meeting him at that time.
Good.
Yeah,
He's a great guy, really is.
So something that people don't know about Kay and I, we seem to like trees and the woods and kind of space away from everything else. And so it was just very coincidental that both Kay and I had property listed by Whitetail Properties. Jeff is my realtor in Mississippi, and Kay Taylor has been Kay's realtor. And we have had nothing but a great experience with them. So we asked Jeff if he would come be our guest and share a little bit about the benefits of investing in land as opposed to investing in maybe stocks or bonds or something else, and how there is such an interest, as we were just talking about. People from very crowded states are looking for rural property, recreational and hunting property. So what are you seeing, Mississippi, Louisiana, and across the country as a trend about how people see the benefit of investing in land?
Yeah, there's a really big push here in the last year especially, and if there's one good thing that could come out of COVID, I guess it's making people realize that they need to slow down, get back to nature a little bit. So there's a big push with a lot of people from the cities to find that little small piece of heaven, 35, 40 minutes, hour and a half out of town to just get away from it all, whether it's hunting, recreation, just to go for the weekend, a little getaway spot and put a cabin on. They are really looking for those small tracts, anywhere from 25 to 30 to 150, 200 acres. Those are really hot right now.
And so you were saying in Tennessee, people are buying it up.
Oh, man.
Sight unseen from California.
They are.
Yeah.
Because there are certain states that they're definitely leaving in droves, and they're looking for states that have that, whether it's on a lake or, outdoorsy property. Because people have figured out a lot of business, they can do their work from home. So they could be in a little piece of heaven and still do what they were doing.
That's right. And, with all the insecurity out there right now, investments and such are not really what people want them to be, but land is always a constant. It never depreciates. It always appreciates in value. It holds its value very well. It has multiple income opportunities from it: timber, subsidy programs, hunting leases. So there's all kind of different options for land, and it's a very secure investment.
Well, I think a lot of people are thinking that too, because they're like, man, with it very uncertain, that's the word out there with the economy. Where do I put my money?
That's right.
So that I don't end up losing it.
The question of the
Lord,
year,
we don't
where
want
do I put my money?
It is because we all know we work really hard for it. We don't want to lose it.
That's
so
right.
where's the best place? And I think that is something that we're seeing too, something tangible.
Yeah, and you've got the other sideline to that is interest rates are so low, historically low.
Right.
So they can, if they have to borrow or finance the property, they can get very low interest rates at a short period of time and have it paid off in a short period of time.
And then if you have timber property, you can cut that timber after a period of time. 10 years to thin, 20 years, 25 years to cut. Jeff and I have had a lot of conversations about timber. A lot of conversations. And so he's not just a realtor that said one day, I think I'll hang a shingle out there and call myself a realtor after passing the test. He is second generation, and your son is now third generation of being a forester.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about how you used to learn about this growing up.
Well, my father's a graduate forester, and I just, hung out with him in the woods from the time I was 10 or 12 years old, just following him through and watching what he does and learned to love it. And so that, naturally, I went to forestry school at, Mississippi State University.
That's all right.
And that kind of fell in the same line with my son, who just graduated last December in forestry school. So he's a graduate forester now. So we actually have 3 generations in the family. And he's working with me. My father's retired, but he did start our business back in 1978. So hopefully I can retire before too long from that part. I'd like to keep with the real estate for a long time because I really like that. But so he can carry on the forestry consulting business.
So anybody that's interested in property in Louisiana, in this part of Louisiana, they would be working with Cade Taylor, no relation. And then if you're in Mississippi, if you're thinking about finding a little piece of heaven in Mississippi, Jeff could really hook you up. And he's also a hunter.
Oh, yeah.
So he knows all the seasons, all the hunting, and you're also doing forestry for different investment properties.
That's right.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we manage timberland for private landowners in Mississippi and Louisiana. We have about 250 active clients that we manage the timber for, and they may own anywhere from 40 acres to 20,000 acres.
Wow.
As a landowner, but they're all the same. We treat them all the same, and every one of them is important because their goals and objectives are all important to them. So we try to manage for those goals and help them achieve those objectives.
So if somebody had, a chunk of money and they're looking for an investment, how would they go about deciding which type of property? Would it be based on the value of, whatever the money they have, or would it be based on what their long-term goals are? Like maybe finding something that timber could be cut, or hunting leases.
Yeah, people have different objectives when they go into purchasing land, and there's a wide range of why they make that decision to buy a piece of property to start with. So we kind of mold our management plans and our objectives as far as helping them buy a piece of property to exactly what their needs are. It could be anything from a hunting piece of property to just a recreational weekend retreat, something with a cabin on it. And of course, everybody has a different budget, so it's one of those things you just have to dig into and help them that way.
Are there some tax benefits to buying recreational timber property as opposed to just maybe buying a condo or a fourplex or something like that? I know just from my experience having property with timber on it, there are subsidies that the state or federal government might give you when you replant. You cut and you get a certain amount of investment money back. So would you explain a little bit about that for people? Because ladies, this is a good investment for you ladies. Low maintenance.
That's right.
Yes.
There is a lot of incentive to own timberland from mainly from a tax standpoint, and government subsidies. We kind of control, or not control, but help landowners obtain those incentives. But like when you cut timber and you need to know what your basis is in that timber in the land before you even get started. So that's one of the things that we recommend people do when they first purchase a piece of property is, all right, know what your basis is. That way, that's whatever all your taxable income is going to be set back to. So like when you sell timber, you can actually get a tax credit or get it off your basis for the timber you sold, and you may not owe any capital gains tax on that because you may have just recently purchased a property and it was of the same value as when you sold timber. And there's government programs too, like if you do a final harvest on your timber, there's subsidy programs or incentives to help that guide landowners to replant. They want to encourage to reforest instead of leaving the ground or the land fallow. So there's cost share programs available out there, and there's a ton of different ones. And even when you don't cut timber, there's incentive programs for doing certain enhancements on your property, like even pollinator plants to encourage pollination, planting certain species of trees. There's a lot of incentive for that. So there's a world of opportunity out there for landowners.
So people can buy a bare piece of land that might have maybe some good drainage, not too eroded, and they could actually plant trees and look at that investment coming back to them in 10 and 20 years or something to pass down to their family.
That's
and that
right.
would increase the value of the property.
Exactly. Yep. Sure does.
So what are the things that you would tell people, make sure you don't get a piece of property that has this type of issue or problem? Like erosion would be one.
Yeah, any property that's been highly eroded for whatever reason, it's for lack of maintenance or lack of care, you've really got to pay attention to what your goals are for that property. You don't want to, of course, buy a piece of property in a floodplain to build a house on, and
Can't buy it in wetlands, really. Can't do much with wetlands.
Yeah, wetlands are pretty restricted, and so there's not a whole lot of government restrictions on private land in our area, thankfully. But you can get yourself into a pickle, in certain situations like that.
Mm-hmm. So it might just be a good place to park your money while you wait and see what the market does. Mm-hmm. Or lease out.
And if you're going to do it, it might be great because you can enjoy it. If you find a place, like you said, that you can go for the weekend, that you can hunt, and then you know that it's not going to lose its value. I mean, hey, it's a win-win, right?
That's right. So if you're interested in any investment property, timber property, or hunting property, how can people get in touch with you?
They can reach me on my cell phone is the best way at 601-248-9433, or they can find me on my webpage at whitetailproperties.com.
Or you can go to the Facebook for Rock It Right Entertainment, and we're going to be sharing Jeff's story, his bio, and some of his information. Thank you so much for coming from Mississippi.
Thanks for having me.
And we look forward to having Cade Taylor join us in the near future and talk about different ways that you can make money off property. And we'll be right back with Rock It Right.
My biggest concern was my family and being able to see me come home every day and know everything is going to be okay. I felt comfortable that I was being treated by some of the best. There were some scary points along the way, but it's just kind of like been a little blip in the road.
Money, wellness, fun. Rocket Right Radio takes you all across Louisiana and the nation with guests who live life to the fullest.
I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
I'm Dr. Kay Solar.
You're gonna love it.
Join us every week when we cover
everything under the sun.
Live and learn with the Wright sisters.
Politics,
health,
music and entertainment,
local agnet.
Rocket Right Radio. You're gonna love it.
Remember that Whitetail Properties is not your average resale real estate company. Land specialist and MSU alum Jeff Taylor's sole purpose is uniting buyers and sellers of recreational land. And if you're interested in timberland hunting, farm, or ranch land, visit Jeff or give him a call. He invites you to learn more how he can help. 601-248-9433. The number to call. You can visit the website, whitetailproperties.com.
Join us for the 3rd Street Songwriters Festival Saturday, March 20th, outdoors at Point Marie, located near the LaBerge Casino in Baton Rouge. Live music, an arts market, and food trucks starting at noon. Hit Writers Showcase at 7 p.m. featuring Louisiana's CJ Solar, Rick Huckabee, and Blake Griffith, who have written songs by Morgan Wallen, Jason Aldean, Tim McGraw, and others. For more info and tickets to the featured events, 3rdstreetsongwritersfestival.com. Fun for the whole family.
You're invited to the first annual Flower Fest benefiting St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Immerse yourself into this year's Louisiana Promenade theme as Point Marie Square is transformed into a floral haven, followed by a floral-inspired Louisiana Promenade Gala. Festival and gala tickets are on sale now at theflowerfest.com. Follow us on social media at theflowerfestLA.
Hey y'all, I'm Amanda Shaw. We all know Louisiana is as fun as all get out. So get out, take a road trip, and explore everything Louisiana has to offer. Fill her up and try a new restaurant that's as fun-loving as it is food-loving. Grab family and take off for monumental adventures at our 21 state parks. Or take a magical minivan tour along our 19 scenic trails and byways and rediscover the character and characters that make our state a lot like nowhere else. Louisiana is a trip. Take one today and enjoy a close by, far from ordinary adventure that's sure to feed your soul.
This is Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser. Plan your road trip at LouisianaIsATrip.com.
Back with the Rocket Right Show. I'm Dr. Kay Solar in the house with Hurricane Betsy Barnes. And our medical segment is brought to you each week by Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center. And we're so glad to have Dr. Nathan Haidt, who's a colorectal surgeon with Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, because March is Colon Cancer Awareness Month. And so we want to make everyone aware of the things that they need to do, which a lot of people dropped off their screening last year during COVID, I know. But let's just start with the basics. Let's talk about, because some people will go, are those different? What's the actual difference between colon cancer, rectal cancer, and colorectal cancer? Because they hear them used a lot the same, and they're like, what's the difference?
Sure. Whenever we say colorectal cancer, it can include both colon and rectal cancers. The colon is the longest part of your of the large intestine. It's about 5 feet. The rectum is actually just the last 10 to 15 inches of the colon, and it's in a more fixed location than the colon.
Yeah, so a lot of people, when we're going to talk about screening here in a little bit, but it's just like when I was practicing, would try to talk people into their mammograms, but I don't have any risk factors. Do I really need to do that? So let's talk about what are some of the risk factors.
Sure. I think there's a lot of reasons that people should get a colonoscopy. In terms of just age, the older we get, the more likely we are to have polyps. The general recommendation is 45 years to start screening colonoscopies at the current time. In terms of other reasons why somebody should get a colonoscopy, if they're having symptoms such as some abdominal pain, maybe some bleeding, a change in their bowel habits, it's important to see your doctor to see if you would benefit from a colonoscopy. If you have a family history of colon cancer or colon polyps, it's also very important to see your doctor to get set up for a colonoscopy.
Right, and I hope people noted, he said the age for starting screening now is 45, and a lot of people still have 50 in their head, and that changed.
It changed fairly recently. One of our organizations recommended 45.
Right.
Some still say 50, but either way, I think it's important just to get it on your radar, and 45
Absolutely.
is a good age to start.
Yeah. So let's talk about the ways. You mentioned colonoscopy, which I think is still the gold standard, but some people are like, well, can I do that like mail-in thing, or can I do this other thing, because I just really don't want to do a colonoscopy. Let's talk about some of the other screening techniques that there are, and the plus and minus.
The screening techniques for colorectal cancer have actually come a long way. There's still stool tests. Sometimes you would need to send in the stool sample. The big difference is these days they can actually test for pretty advanced things like DNA from polyps.
Right.
And they still can test for blood. Sometimes if someone just doesn't want to get a colonoscopy, they can also get a special type of CT scan that can evaluate for polyps. I think the big thing to remember though is that, like you mentioned, the colonoscopy is still the gold standard, and most importantly allows us to intervene if we see anything suspicious.
Right. So it's not just a screening technique where they go, yeah, you got something, you got to come back later. If there's a worrisome looking polyp, or if there's a polyp, then that can be taken care of at the time, sent off for pathology, and know what you got. And it may change the frequency of your next screening if it's precancerous or even benign.
And then just to note, for the special CT scan, you still need to do the bowel prep, which is probably the worst part of undergoing a colonoscopy.
Right.
And then, although the stool tests are pretty good, about 10% false negative and positive rate, they still can miss things. And if it's positive, it still would be important to get a colonoscopy.
Absolutely. And people don't realize, yes, the doctor needs to be able to see in your colon, which is why you've got to do the prep. It doesn't work without the prep. So let's talk about, in addition to the average person starting screening, what are some reasons that people might need to start screening earlier?
Sure. a family history of colon cancer. It's very important to know if any immediate family members have had colon cancer, because you probably need to get screened about 10 years before that person was diagnosed, or start screening at that time. And like you previously mentioned, the interval is a lot shorter than if you didn't have a family history of colon
But wouldn't
cancer.
that put you in your 20s or 30s getting
It
a
could.
test? Yes.
It could.
It could.
So this is not limited to people. We want people to understand there are some questions you might not want to ask your parents or your your relatives, but this would be an important one.
You know, it's unfortunate, but believe it or not, we're starting to see colon cancer at a higher incidence in younger people. It's not very common in the 20s to 30s, but we have seen it, unfortunately. So it's definitely important to have that conversation with your family member.
If you have that family history.
Exactly.
And I think the studies showed that's why the age moved up to 45 from 50, because of the increased incidence.
If you have certain family history of genetic syndromes, like FAP or hereditary non-polyposis colon cancer, which just means you have a lot of polyps in the colon, that's also important to start screening at a much younger age.
So let's talk about that screening. Screening means you have no symptoms. You're doing this for prevention.
Right.
So what are some other symptoms that people should look for that might not mean colon cancer, but it certainly means I need to tell my doctor about this, and I might need to be getting some tests done?
I think some important things to look out for: a change in your bowel habits. Maybe you find it harder to go to the restroom if you need to take stool softeners, and in the past you were not. Bleeding, of course, is an important thing to take note of. The majority of times, luckily, it's from a benign cause or something unrelated, but it's still good to take note of those things and have a conversation about screening.
Sure. I mean, the best thing is always notify your doctor. If it's something alarming, get tested. The most likelihood, like you said, is a benign thing, but you want to catch it early. If it's not, you don't want to just ignore it and go, well, that'll probably go away.
Exactly.
You know, and you know, I think the majority of people will see their doctor when they have some rectal bleeding, because that's alarming. But sometimes they'll just chalk it up to a hemorrhoid. So, you know, if they don't have that history before, they need to be given a call.
Absolutely. And like I tell a lot of my patients, we want to find nothing.
Right. Absolutely.
And it's colorectal surgery clinic, so we do we look at a lot of people's bottoms, I guess. We take our work seriously, but we don't take ourselves too seriously. And we're your doctor, so we want to provide the best care for you, make sure everybody's comfortable. So we never want somebody not to come into their appointment because they're embarrassed or they feel like it's silly.
Absolutely. So the Cancer Center earned a national accreditation for its rectal cancer care. Like talk about that honorable recognition. What does that mean? I know Mary Bird is just doing great things, but what is this all about?
You know, I'm really proud to be a part of the team at Mary Bird Perkins, and basically it was a process that took over a year to implement, but it's basically the NAPRC, and it's a national program to ensure quality care for patients with rectal cancer. Rectal cancer is very complex. There's quite a few ways to initiate and to complete treatment. It basically holds everyone to a very high standard in the care of that patient, and by that I mean there's multiple teams involved, not only your surgeon, but also your oncologist, your radiation oncologist, geneticists, social workers, everybody, to make sure that the patient gets the best care.
So, and I know that, I mean, Mary Bird is cutting edge on all of their treatment. So talk a little bit about, and we don't have a whole lot of time to spend, but just some of the advanced treatments that y'all are using for colorectal patients.
In terms of just strictly the surgical aspect, I'm really proud to have a great team of 4 great partners, Louis Barfield, Kelly Fine, and Richard Bird. We all do advanced, minimally invasive surgery, and that can range from anything from laparoscopic surgery to robotic surgery with the Da Vinci robot.
Which, in the past, if folks aren't thinking about that, little incisions, and they also have a much better recovery than when they had to have a huge incision as far as their post-op recovery period.
Exactly. A lot less pain, a quicker return to activity, less chance of having a hernia. People just feel better, they do better, they get out the hospital better, and take probably less narcotics as well. So. And
if they had to do any adjuvant treatment, then they can usually start that sooner because of the less time for the healing of a large incision.
Exactly.
And that also would help people who have other illnesses or conditions. I actually know a couple of people that y'all have done surgery on and really helped. And they were older
Mhm.
and they had some other issues, and y'all took great care of them.
Oh.
And Mary Bird Perkins, everybody just is so, deeply invested in the outcomes for their
right.
patients.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's say if anyone wants to find out more information on colon cancer, where's the spot?
We can go to the Mary Bird Perkins website. And that
Yeah,
will get us good
marybirdlake.org/colon. It's up there on our website. And before we go, we want to know a little bit of stuff about you.
Sure.
How long you been here in Baton Rouge?
I grew up in Louisiana. I actually grew up in Destrehan. I went to undergrad and medical school at LSU and also did my surgical training at LSU. So I did my fellowship in Seattle and actually spent a little time at Oxford as well. So I've been all over.
Yeah, that's wonderful. We're glad you came back to Louisiana.
Well, I'm happy they would have me back.
Yes, and you actually probably run into now and then people that you know.
Uh-huh.
And so we're so glad that you're there to just care for and treat our home folks,
Right.
From all over Louisiana, because Mary Bird does attract patients from all over the South.
Absolutely.
It is really an exemplary facility, and we're just so thankful for the people that we get to meet on a regular basis through Mary Bird.
Yes.
Great.
We have been talking with Dr. Nathan Haidt with Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, colorectal surgeon. It's Colon Cancer Awareness Month, so y'all, please check and see when the last time you were screened. Are you due to be screened? Talk to your doctor about it. And don't procrastinate on this. We know a lot of people have delayed their screening because of last year's COVID. We want you to get back on track. Thank you so much for joining
Thank you. I
us.
appreciate
We
you having
always
me.
appreciate it. And coming up next, we're going to be talking some Citrus Slice Pizza and lots of happenings there.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris of Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, conveniently located off the I-12 corridor in Walker and Albany. If you suffer from sciatica, migraines, or other pain conditions, give us a call to see if we have a technique that best fits you. We have multiple techniques, including chiropractic adjustments, massage therapy, dry needling, rehab, and much more. Again, I'm Dr. Ron McMorris with Elite Chiropractic in Livingston Parish, Walker, and Albany.
Some call it joie de vie, the joy of life. In Louisiana, it's our way of life. From music that shakes up your senses to food that wakes up your palate. That joy vibrates in every note we play and spices up every meal we serve. So come live life to the fullest. Come one, come y'all, come feed your soul in Louisiana. I'm Sean Ardway, inviting you to plan your trip at louisianatravel.com.
Remember that Whitetail Properties is not your average resale real estate company. Land specialist and MSU alum Jeff Taylor's sole purpose is uniting buyers and sellers of recreational land. And if you're interested in timberland hunting, farm, or ranch land, visit Jeff or give him a call. He invites you to learn more how he can help. 601-248-9433. The number to call. You can visit the website, whitetailproperties.com.
Slimshot is the most in-demand injection in medical weight loss, and we are pleased to offer it at Causey Med Aesthetic. This safe and effective injection helps boost your metabolism, supports increased energy, burns body fat, and reduces appetite. These shots can be taken safely once a week or as needed when your weight loss is at a standstill. Slimshot combined with touchless lipo treatments produce a powerful 1-2 punch for targeting that stubborn body fat.
Join us for the 3rd Street Songwriters Festival Saturday, March 20th, outdoors at Point Marie, located near the La Berge Casino in Baton Rouge. Live music, an arts market, and food trucks starting at noon. Hit Writers Showcase at 7 p.m. featuring Louisiana's CJ Solar, Rick Huckabee, and Blake Griffith, who have written songs by Morgan Wallen, Jason Aldean, Tim McGraw, and others. For more info and tickets to the featured events, 3rdstreetsongwritersfestival.com. Fun for the whole family.
Where else can you take the trail less traveled at a pace all your own? Where else? Escape to one of Louisiana's 21 state parks for a picture-perfect getaway.
Where else can you be a world away and this close to home?
I had a meeting with Dr. Barfield and it kind of just hit me. It probably is cancer.
After the surgery, I wasn't scared anymore. I was looking forward to getting started with chemo. Not one time did I get a nurse in a bad mood. I was here for 5 hours at a time, and I did not dread coming. To get people from around the country to come to Baton Rouge, that says a lot right there. That this place is cutting edge.
We are so excited because we love having Allison Franklin here with City Slice. We're going to be talking about some really good things coming up.
A slice of life. They've got so much going on to make you lively. And one is this drink that she brought us right here in this little City Slice cup.
It's
Before
an
we started,
Irish-
can you tell folks what kind of concoction you have brought us?
It's an Irish margarita, so tequila, Jameson, there's some peach schnapps in there, sweet and sour, champagne. They're very strong, but they're very
I
good.
just heard 4 alcohols.
You did, yes.
Yes. And it's like a big slushy, so.
Yeah,
and it's
our-
green, so it's for St. Patrick's
It's our
Day's
frozen
time, right?
special for St. Patrick's Day. On March 17th, we're throwing a little St. Patrick's Day party, though the parade won't run this year. We've got the Irish margaritas. We have our house cocktail. It's called a paddywhack.
A paddywhack? What's in a paddywhack?
It's a gin, curacao, and a little bit of pineapple juice.
It sounds really good.
Oh, yeah.
And do you have a game to where, like, I could give Betsy one and she could say paddywhack, like, numerous times until she, can't say it anymore? That sounds like a tongue twister, too.
Yeah, we'll also have $5 Irish car bombs, which are college favorites.
Okay, so tell people what a
because
car
we
bomb
hadn't
is
been
if they
in
don't
college
know.
for a long time, so I mean, maybe 10 years.
Irish car bombs is every staple liquor that comes from Ireland. You have half a pint of Guinness and then a shot glass that has Bailey's and Jameson. You drop the shot glass into the pint and then you chug the whole thing.
Okay, that sounds crazy.
It is crazy.
Probably gets crazy after that.
Okay, Uber is essential to all of the things we're talking about. Or get a ride with somebody who hasn't already had the car bomb, the Irish margarita. I think this should be the jungle juice of St. Patrick's Day for the LSU area.
Oh, I would love it to be.
Yeah, I think it should be. And you're on Chime, so I mean you can walk.
The green jungle juice.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, but okay. So there's so much going on. I don't even know where to start. Okay.
Let's start with kegs and
eggs. So we
eggs.
started with the St. Patrick's Day event because we had our special little glass of, a large sippy cup, let's say.
It's very tasty.
This is, the brunch thing. Let's talk about it. It's the college style brunch. It
is
lasts longer than
college-style
most
brunch.
brunches in case they get up late, right?
Yep, we thought that calling it brunch was a little bit too formal for City Slice, so we've branded it as Kegs and Eggs. It runs every Saturday and Sunday morning from 11 until 4.
Because nobody's going to get up before 11, and they have till 4 o'clock to get there. So it's the most extended brunch. If you feel like you missed a brunch that was over at 2 or 3, there's still hope for you. You can go till 4 o'clock. Talk about some of the items on the menu.
So we're actually about to launch a new brunch menu. I brought some of the appetizers today. In front of us
they
are
look lovely. If we can get a
potato-
picture of that shooting down there.
Those are potato croquettes. It's hash browns, scrambled eggs, breakfast sausage, and cheese fried together in a ball with a cayenne hollandaise dipping sauce.
That is amazing. So if you looked at that and you said, "Oh, that's a boudin ball," no, it's more than a boudin ball.
That is a full breakfast. That is a big breakfast.
It is a breakfast in a ball.
Yep.
I'm really thinking those would be good reheated later if you didn't eat the whole thing, because that just sounds delicious.
Oh, yeah.
And that would be something good that you could bring for any gathering.
Yep, and we're also going to add things. We have a Dreamsicle Stack.
What is that?
It's a stack of pancakes, except we've made them orange vanilla pancakes, like a Dreamsicle popsicle when you were a kid.
Yeah.
Topped with our cream cheese icing. We're going to have pecan praline cinnamon rolls. We will have boudin balls.
Starting this weekend, right?
We will have some of them this weekend, and then the following weekend we'll have the whole menu done.
So what are some of the favorite things? What are your most ordered things for brunch out there?
Our most ordered dish is the loaded hash brown bowl.
Yeah, because they've seen pictures of it on your social media and feel like I've got to go have that.
Yeah,
I bet because I saw it and I felt the same thing.
Hash browns, queso. We put our house-made chorizo, onions, bell peppers, jalapeno. It's really delicious. And then our second highest seller is the hangover pizza. It has a queso base instead of sauce, and then we put scrambled eggs, ground beef, jalapenos, basically everything that you would want in a good scrambled egg bowl on top of a pizza.
You know,
That
everything you're
sounds
saying is just making me so
amazing.
hungry. We're such foodies.
I know, especially
like, talk
since-
foodie to me. Keep talking.
I'm just
So we
saying,
love
on
it.
day 3 of a 500 calorie day
okay.
intermittent
You'll be-
fasting.
it'll be over
so,
on Saturday.
Yes, it all sounds so good.
That's right.
I should rush in there on Sunday.
It's so unique and different and
Mm-hmm.
flavorful. I love a one dish, one pan, one bowl kind of meal with so many different flavors. That's just some of my personal favorites.
Yeah, and we go for college kids. And what is better than a hash brown bowl when you're hungover?
But do our taste buds ever really mature? I don't think so.
I don't know. So, well, so much is going on in March. Tell me about this City Slice March Madness bracket.
Yes, so on March 14th is Selection Sunday, which is when the NBA comes out with their bracket.
Got it.
So we've branded our own bracket, and on Selection Sunday, you can come into City Slice, pay a $10 buy-in, and then we will grade your bracket as the season progresses, and then whoever has the most points by the end of the season gets the entire buy-in pot, plus a gift card to any of our CGH restaurants.
Wow,
Now,
which is
that's
a
a
number.
deal.
Why don't you go through the whole list? I know people who've been watching before, they know the list, but just run through that because it's a lot of options.
Oh, our restaurants?
Yes.
We have City Slice, City Pork Art and Design, City Pork Vet School, City Pork Catering, City Pork Brasserie and Bar, Rouge Creole, and Beausoleil.
And the Hidden City Taco.
And City Taco.
So, which a lot of options for folks that do live out near LSU, but for really anyone who's going to do
If
that.
you're near Perkins
So-
Row, and then you've got something new that's coming
on Government Street.
On Government Street in the old Bistro Byron's.
Yeah,
So
y'all
mention
are
that.
busy. So yeah, so let's talk about, because we don't want to run out of time because they've got so much going on at City Slice the month of March. Talk about Pie Day.
Also on March 14th,
March 14th is going to be a busy day. Wow.
So on obviously the numbers for pie are 3.14. So March 14th, universally is Pie Day. So we'll be selling our huge quarter of a pizza slices for $3.14 all day.
Wow.
Well, that's a deal.
That's a deal.
That's a deal with an Irish margarita.
Yep,
I'm
you can't
gonna
beat
That's a
tell
good
you.
cheap date for a college student.
I'm going
Or
to
for
tell you,
anybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
No kidding. No kidding. I love that. Pie Day. You had to explain it to
So
me.
clever.
3.14. 159.
Yep, it's always pizzas and like traditional pies is generally who celebrates Pie Day.
Cool. So, and let's talk about this because this sounds very interesting. The Gnarly 90s Party. Now, we're moving into April, but you got to plan for it in March. The Gnarly 90s Party on April 2nd.
Yes, ma'am. It's going to be April 2nd, 7 p.m. to 11. We've teamed up with Gnarly Barley, the brewery out of Hammond, and we're throwing a little 90s party. We've come up with a pizza called Livin' La Pizza Loca.
Living La Pizza
Y'all do have
Loca.
great names for your pizzas.
Thank you.
I mean, you really do.
Thank
You really do.
And then we have a couple cocktails. We have the Never Let Go, which is based on the Titanic. We have Baby Got Black Label, a cocktail based on Baby Got Back. And then I have the Fresh Mint of Bel Air. Those
Got
are
it.
our
And
signature
we know what
cocktails.
that's based on.
Yep.
So-
So we kind of do everything to theme, and then to finish it off, we're gonna have a beer float with a Gnarly Barley beer called Corova Milk Porter, So it's a nice dark chocolatey beer that we'll put homemade vanilla ice cream into, and we've called that our Narvana float.
Narvana float. Love that.
I have never
Forget
even
that
tasted
root beer float.
I've never tasted ice cream
Put your
in
beer
beer
with ice cream. I don't know.
I'm an adventurous
Did you
eater. I'll try.
taste test all those as they were developing?
Oh, yeah.
I think she helped develop these. I
did develop all of them. Yes, ma'am.
Names and the concoctions.
Yeah, it gets a little bit tricky
I bet.
to come up with pun names.
I think you
so
did
specific.
a great job.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you love what you do. I mean,
do.
it's evident. I mean,
Yeah.
you beam when you talk about it, and everything that you do, you're inviting other people. You're including other people to come enjoy that creativity with you. I think we need to go. I think we need to go.
I'm all with you, Betsy. Especially, if you have a little sip of this, you're going to want to go back for more.
And
for
during
sure.
the Gnarly 90s party, we'll be raffling off a VIP tour of the Gnarly Barley Brewery. For every pint of Gnarly Barley you buy, you get a raffle ticket. And then if you show up in themed costume, you will also get a raffle ticket.
Okay, so what is, in case somebody's going, what do I wear for a 90s themed costume? What do you wear?
Ooh, I'm probably going to do a little 90s grunge type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
They've also got like 90s streetwear. There's a million different things.
You could definitely dress as one of the 90s grunge bands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Or Madonna.
That would be great. Are you gonna be playing like,
We'll be playing
grunge
90s music the whole night.
Cool. 90s country, 90s grunge.
A mix of everything.
Lot of mix of music that was going on there in the 90s. Well, wow, I can't believe that our time is about done. But when we're talking about such fun stuff, that's what happened. So y'all be sure and go by and say hey to Allison Franklin when you head over to City Slice and check out the website there if you want to go check out their menu in advance.
Bring a friend.
Yeah. CitySlicePizza.com and out near the LSU campus.
On West Chimes.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good time the whole month of March and more. So if you're going to rock it,
make sure you rock it right with City Hospitality Group, City Slice, City Taco, and Allison Franklin.
Are you a business owner that could use just one more customer? Those empty tables, vacant appointments, idle employees, and expired merchandise are missed opportunities. What if there were a community that connects you to high-value and motivated customers, giving you a competitive edge in the marketplace and increasing your revenue? Introducing Partners One. You keep doing what you do best, taking care of your customers, and we'll do what we do best, sending you new customers to take care of. Call us today to find out how Partners One can work for your business.
Rock It Right with Betsy Barnes and Dr. K. Solar is brought to you by these generous sponsors. Partners One, better barter for Baton Rouge and beyond.
Mary Bird Perkins, Our Lady of the Lake Cancer Center, Selassie Jewelry and Fine Gifts, Advantage Health Solutions with Dr. Boyd Michael Helm, Hightower Dental Concepts with Dr. Leah Larson, City Group Hospitality including City Pork Brasserie and Bar, City Pork Catering, City Slice, City Taco, Rouge Creole, and Beau Soleil.
Talent 360 Consulting with Vicki Little. Jeff Taylor, Realtor and Forester with Whitetail Properties. The 3rd Street Songwriters Festival. Elite Chiropractic with Dr. Ron McMorris. Causey Medesthetic and Dr. Danielle Causey. LouisianaIsATrip.com, Take One. Beauvoir Park, and the Flower Fest Louisiana at Point Marie. Thank you for making our show possible.